listening to Thoughtless Casual Gaming with Brett and Jace. We are a Geelong-based gaming podcast where we put on random paint events and eventually talk about them.
Eventually
is the operative word here. So we ran a paint event which finished. When did it finish? End of April?
Let's not talk about that bit. That's not important.
Yeah. All right.
It ended at some point.
Yes, it definitely did end.
It was further away than I planned on it being.
Yes, I've just realised when it ended. So let's carry on. Now, this paint event was nice and structured, as we want to do.
So, well-oiled machine by now, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Something old.
That's it.
Yep. Paint something old. How you paint it, or what you paint, or something to do with your painting must be old.
How you justify that is 1,000% up to you, and that's kind of part of the fun, is seeing how people choose to interpret said theme.
Yes, absolutely. Look for the loopholes, people. That's what we're trying to give you here. So what did you paint, Jace?
I, instead of looking for a loophole, went completely literal. But I took this as an opportunity to challenge myself in that I think that there are some absolutely terrible models from the heyday of Games Workshop that were not given their just, like they were set up to fail, not only because of the sculpt, but because there was just primary colors all over them. And so I took this opportunity to just find out whether updating the paint scheme could save a less than optimal sculpt. And as such, I chose possibly the worst sculpted miniature in the history of Games Workshop with the original Nagash.
Yeah, so he's not the all-imposing undead lord that he should be, is he?
I mean, he was when you considered the scale of stuff then, but compared to now, no. He was a bubbly, wonky little
dude with a skull face and a
it was
frill.
like
He's got a frill.
Yeah, it's like Skeletor in one of the Black Adder episodes after some kind of tragic car accident. I don't know. There's nothing right with this model. It was pretty wild.
But he does have a cunning plan.
So yeah, it was actually a really fun exercise to put that together, try and come up with something that modernized him a little bit, try and come up with a scheme that hid some of the flaws and some of the, things that necessarily didn't work, and then see if I could make him worthy of putting on a shelf somewhere at some stage. It was fun. It was tricky. I went backwards and forwards a couple of times. I originally was planning on doing non-metallic metals, and then I realized how many itty-bitty skulls were all over that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly his staff was just itty-bitty skulls.
It's all over skulls.
It's a skull scepter. And I quickly decided that was a terrible idea and went to actual metallic. So there was some pivoting throughout the time, trying to just make him a little bit more dark and moody and things. It was also a fun exercise of throwing a photo of Nagash into AI and asking it to give me different color ideas.
Okay.
And it literally just colors the model in for you and says, what about this? What about this? What about this? And you can steal ideas from it.
Were they any good?
Not terrible.
Okay.
And you basically say, I want something a bit dark and broody, and it gives you some ideas, and you go, I'll do this, but do some extra stuff or change this and stuff, and it spits out a new one. And as a way to come up with color schemes, it was actually pretty painless And it even justifies why, like it gives you a reason. It will then give you the equivalent paints if you want to go to recipe style and tell you what to use to get these things. Um, but just as a way to get a quick and dirty concept of what would this look like if I did this, it was a fun little exercise.
And what you've ended up in is kind of a very typical Night Lords colouring, red and blue, for the
Yeah.
most part.
And what was fascinating is, the blue was kind of unintentional, if I'm honest. The blue was just trying to get some interest on the armor. Um, it's also, I went for a lot of black. It's not quite black, but it's a little bit black. And I find painting black very challenging. I tried to go still midnighty. There was a lot of red for sort of glowy, creepy ambience. And it was just try stuff, see how it works. Again, it was always a god ugly model, so I could always fall back on that as if nothing worked. And it was a printed version of him, so it wasn't like I cracked open an original 90s box. I found a file to print, and it was a really true replica of the original. So if it didn't work, there was not a lot of pressure, and that kind of made it very easy to do as well.
Do like how the skull looks.
Which one? There's 8
The
million.
The face. The face skull. The skeletal skull. So you got like... that's a different colour on the teeth, isn't it?
No.
No?
I might have just highlighted them a little, but it's...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I take it all back. It looks like shit.
It's trash. But yeah, and I'm having fun playing. All right, well, where a light reflection's going to play on the armor and stuff like that. I haven't done a true metallic, like a proper true metallic, for a while. So actually getting metals to look like metals and not just like glittery paint, that was fun.
Couple of questions.
Yeah.
The banner.
Yes.
Is that part of the model?
Nah, that was me getting creative with the base. Yeah.
And the crow.
Also just around, I think he might be from the...
Is that just all black? Is he painted at all?
Yeah, he is. There's actually some purple and some green and some stuff in there that couldn't really tell.
Can't tell from this photo.
No.
It just all looks black.
No.
I thought that was, because you've done the base so well, I assumed that there was something else on this model that you just didn't bother doing.
Actually painted the base. I only took a photo of the front, right?
Yes. Yeah, the back isn't done. But that's all Jay's.
So yeah, it was fun. It was silly.
No, he looks great. I'm impressed for an old school model.
So now what? The next one's got to be like Alariel, the wood elf chick with the butterfly wings, or I'll work through the worst of the worst sculpts.
Yeah, something bright. Oh dear.
And then, so that was me. What did you do?
See, I sort of I took old to mean old person.
Oh, you painted me. Like one of your French
old model, in that it had been sitting on my desk for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
It was the vampire lord woman that was a Warhammer Plus model.
Mm-hmm.
A year ago, 2 years ago, probably 2. Anyway, she'd been sitting on my desk in a box.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, this is a good opportunity. So let's just paint her up. So, stuck her on a base and I painted.
Mm-hmm.
And reasonably happy with her. I think the face is one of those tiny ones, which is just ridiculous.
And did she have multiple head? Like, do they do a helmet and a non-helmet?
Yeah, there was a helmet and a non-helmet version. And I decided not to paint hair.
Yeah. Which
so,
yeah. But what that does is it means you've got to try and get the brush inside the helmet to do the face then too. Yes. So it doesn't help either.
Yes, and I should touch that up. But anyway, I went for sort of an emerald for the armor, and that's the emerald contrast paint, which is called
Eldari Emerald.
That's the one. I really like that color.
It's very nice.
But what I usually do with contrast paints is I'll contrast and then I'll layer them up, which is what I've done on the cloak with the red for the inside and a lighter red for the loiny cloth type thing, and the blue for the cape. So I do the contrast, layer it up, add a couple of highlights or whatever, and there we go, we're done. I don't know of a paint that goes with the emerald contrast paint, so I didn't know how to layer it up, so I went for edge highlighting everywhere.
And there's a lot of edges.
There's a lot of edges, and I'm not good with edge highlighting, so this was more of practice for me. And overall, I think most of them came out okay. I found that if I went and accidentally did it too much, I could add some more of the contrast over the top, and it usually didn't.
Pulled it back a bit.
Pulled it back a bit. Just had a bit of fun with her, playing around with a few ideas. She's holding a chalice, and the chalice has, like, the model, she just holds the chalice. So I added a bit of wire and some glue and made a blood drop coming out of it.
That's how we did it. That was my next question.
So the wire was fairly wide, but it seemed to do the trick. I mean, it looks more, looking at it in person, it looks more like a drop than it potentially does in the photo. So it's pretty thicker at the bottom. But yeah, and then that's just got undercoat and blood for the blood god painted over it.
Glorious. How good are the technicals?
Yeah, so I had a bit of fun. Layered her up. She's done and dusted and got a little, I don't know why she has a skull with a spike through its head.
I was going to ask whether that was part of it or an addition.
Yeah, that's part of it. So I thought, all right, I'll put it on the base. Why not?
I mean,
but
it's such nice models. But yeah, I'm just looking at the amount of edges on that armor, going, oh,
yeah.
And then, I mean, the other piece I like about that is because there's so much sort of cape and cloak and flowy loincloth and stuff. So there's all these big, flat, flowy spaces, and then all this jaggedy.
The armor is very angled comparatively. So, yeah, look, it was a couple of nights of highlighting and a couple of nights of frustration.
Swearing it, yeah.
Yeah, I think the back highlights look a lot better than the front highlights, which is not good for a model. But anyway,
I was going to say, I also really dig the back highlights on the cloak. Like it's actually darker up towards the shoulders and stuff, because that effect is really good as it kind of gets brighter the further down it gets and more light would hit it. So
so I did highlight a lot more at the bottom. So I did the edge highlight along the cloak there as well, and along the little holes in her cloak towards the bottom. But it's very much a slap chop. Dry brushing the bottom a lot more than the top.
Yeah.
So
it works.
Yeah.
Glorious.
Simple things for simple painters.
Simple times. Sometimes, sometimes you just got to get stuff done.
Yeah.
Like,
especially when you're putting on these paint events, you've got to finish something.
I was going to make a comment that came through pretty late in the piece, but we're cutting it fine.
Well, I was working on it for quite some time.
Yeah.
But recently I've been sort of in and out of hobbies. So she was very much I'm doing a bit of hobby, I'll do a bit on her, a bit on this, a bit on that. And then days later, all right, let's do some more hobby. So she was worked on for a while, but towards the end it was like, come on, it's due in a couple of days, and I really want this blood drop to work.
Love it. Wow. So they were ours. We don't count.
No, we're out. So let's go over the ones that do count.
Yes.
All right. Well, first up, due to a lot of effort on my part of deleting out a whole heap of comments in this chat.
So for anyone playing at home who's not aware, when we started this, Brett went into the Discord and created channels for pledges, a channel for finished models, and a separate channel for chats, and then proceeded to post instructions in each of them to say,
What
can
it's
you
for.
post your pledge in the pledge chat? Nothing else, just the pledge. Can you post your finished model in the finished model chat? And don't post anything else. It's not here. If you want to have a conversation about it and comment on stuff, you can also post it in the chat. Do what you want in the chat one. That's yours to talk and derail shit as much as you want. But can we keep the pledge and the finished models ones clean and only with things that pertain to the title, so we can actually do exactly this episode? And true to form, everybody, including myself, proceeded to ignore that and post whatever the fuck we wanted, wherever the fuck we wanted to.
Yes. So the pledges and the finished products all had a number of comments on them from various people, which I then had to go through and delete and try and remind people, and then go through and delete the next lot, and then go through and delete the next lot. And I think I ended up like muting somebody for like a couple of hours or something because they kept on doing it. I'm like, no, I can do this ban hammer thing, so I'm going to do it. I don't know if they noticed, but
we could literally mute 1,000 people in this Discord and no one would know.
Well, muting so that they couldn't post.
Yeah.
But yeah. Then we'd just get messages going, I can't post for some reason. What have I done?
I think I broke Discord or something's not working.
Anyway, first finished product was from Yelp.
Literally the first finish too.
Yes. And pretty early on. Very early on, in fact. Couple of, was that a week and a bit after my...
Yeah. And so
I've got a feeling that was I think I might have had to redo these channels a few times because a certain somebody kept going through and deleting the channels from the Discord.
I didn't delete anything.
No, it wasn't you.
Okay, great.
But yes, anyway.
Like, we only have one other admin. Anyway, and in Yale's own words, it was just a quick fun paint scheme. Always loved the G-Dub paint schemes for these old Escher models, but I went for a Jinx Arcane-inspired scheme. So painted in about a day, and that's how we got it done. Designed and then 3D printed the display stand as well to go with it, which is very cool because the model is on its traditional sort of G-Dub round 25 mil base, whatever the hell it's on. Yep. It's an old one, so I'm assuming it's a 25. But that very neatly slots into a bigger display plinth with a backdrop and a little pipe with some ooze going out of it. So I think it is the old Escher leader from the original Necromunda metal crew.
You would know that better than myself.
It's definitely Escher. Power Sword Plasma Pistol. No one else is getting that. So it was definitely the leader because it's not a character.
And it's definitely one of the older models because she's got the whole studded leg thing going on.
Yes, the classic. Also, like the real side profile, you can tell the hands are that little bit out of proportion. It's such a classic. They're actually really fun to paint too because everything is just that little bit bigger and chunkier and bulkier, and it's very easy.
And I think that the Jinx paint scheme here really works with the lots of purples and pinks and blue hair. It fits in with Escher. From what I know of Escher, anyway. You're and more of the expert than I am.
Look, and absolutely, they always ran like again, we're talking 90s G-dub, so everything was a bit brighter, but they were the leopard print, Amazon warrior woman. So the bright colors, the neons, it all really plays to that aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. And really plays to that old GW style. Like this is White Dwarf esque from the 80s with those sort of colors, while taking inspiration from League of Legends with which is a fairly new thing. It's kind of captured a bit of both, which is great. Yeah. I especially love the fact that he's done what I could not do, and those eyes look really nice.
They're so good.
It's almost like eyeshadow, and
they're properly lined.
He's white in blue in white.
Yeah, he nailed that. It's glorious. I was trying to work out. I think the backdrop, what he's done is he's printed the display in the backdrop and stuff, and he's actually physically printed the stuff behind her on like the graffiti and stuff. I think
so. It looks like it might be 3D,
or it's actually just printed onto paper and then stuck onto the 3D backdrop and then messed with a bit. I don't know.
Who knows?
But
Yelf does.
He does. We could ask him, but I'm not going to. I'm going to speculate because that's more fun. I also really like the minor fourth wall where the pipe down the bottom with a little green ooze is just dripping down the side of the plinth.
Yes.
I always really enjoy that as just a general effect. A little bit of self-awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. And it fits into the theme.
Oh, it is.
Most certainly.
And it makes me very happy just to see, as I said, it's the old models, which I kind of dig, the real classic over-the-top color schemes, which are excellent, leaned heavily into that sort of pink, purple, blue scheme. And then I actually like little bits of detail I really dig on that backdrop. The corner is kind of all kind of torn off and it's all rusted and funky metal behind it. Like there's just a lot of little bits and pieces that he's managed to pull out.
I really like it. And the old school Necromunda models, just so cool.
They are excellent. And he's apparently knocked this out in a day.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. Stop it.
It.
Patrick is up next. Now, Patrick, his description, this is an old enough mini. It's also outdated because it's fine cast. It also frustrated me like some old people do, and he's probably several hundred years old. So he has painted
Radagast the Brown on his sled, chariot, the hair-pulled thing.
Yes. And Patrick has a distinct style.
You can pick a Pat piece.
Yeah.
You can't say that too much, but you can definitely pick a Pat piece.
It's very, muted sort of browns, and the base is got 14,000 tufts on it.
Yeah.
But still looks muddy and old.
Yeah. I've been chatting to him a little bit about it, and there are some real kind of core colors that he's like, these are just my go-tos, and they just lend themselves to his painting style so well. So there's like a pro acryl mahogany that his just default is that kind of reddy brown. He uses as a base for so much. So you can really start to pick those just base colors that he uses. I can imagine this model would be frustrating as hell to paint.
I'm just looking at the rabbits as well that are pulling the sled. They've all sort of got like, it's a solid thing at the back of each rabbit, isn't it? Just connecting it to the...
Yeah, they are a proper like rabbit caterpillar type deal.
Yes.
Yeah, they've just, the iPad on the back of one is attached to the face of the next.
Yes. But yeah, he's such an interesting character, this guy. And you know, when you think Lord of the Rings, you like if you know Lord of the Rings, he is the old guy you think of. He's got his brown cloaks and stuff like that, his white hair.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that he's holding on to his hat as it goes.
Yeah. It's glorious. And I find like it's such a tough scale to paint because it is just that little bit smaller
Mhm.
as a starting point. So I always find it really tricky because it's harder to paint teeny tiny details, but they're not quite small enough that you can get away with not painting the teeny tiny
Mhm.
details. You add to the fact it's fine cast, so you'd be terrified about breaking this at every chance. And then the fact you've got these funky sculpting choices like the harness on all of the rabbits
Mhm.
with just these kind of filled in voids in between them that he's had to paint black to try and give some separation between the arse of the rabbit in front of the next one. Um, there's so much work to make up for the scale and the sculpt and the material, and he's done such a good job just to like you don't think about it being fine cast when you look at it. You don't
No.
think about it being dated when you look at it. It actually just looks like a grotty old hermit riding a rabbit sled through a bog.
Yeah. Which, if he was a grotty old hermit and had a rabbit sled, he would be riding it through a bog.
I mean, why would you not? If I had a rabbit sled, where else are you going to ride your rabbit sled?
Where else are you going to find the rabbits?
I mean, only during duck season.
I really like this piece.
It's
just really, he's done it so well and done it in those earthy colors.
Yeah.
Just flows so well together.
And it just fits the model so well. It fits the aesthetic of Lord of the Rings. It kind of, it just puts Radagast into the environment he's supposed to be in, which is glorious.
Yeah. And he's also stated, I'll never forgive Peter Jackson for birthing this monstrosity. I'm well aware that I'm overcompensating with tufts. So, look.
It feels like the appropriate amount of tufts.
It feels like, for that size base, it feels like the right amount.
It is a very big base for a very skinny sled.
Yeah. Excellent. Moving on, we have Eric.
So this has to be like a 1997 original. So Eric has done the Njal Stormcaller from the Space Wolves.
Yes.
The special
I'm impressed
character
that you knew
guy.
the name because I just had Wolf Priest written down here.
Nah, it's the special character. He had a little cyber raven.
Yes.
And all these things. I had this model in high school. It was cool then. It's cool now.
Mm-hmm.
And he has done it really true to form. Like, again, this is coming straight out of White Dwarf.
Yeah. Like, this is very much a White Dwarf printable model. And we're talking, 1980s White Dwarf here.
Mm-hmm.
The color scheme is exactly the sort of thing that they would have done.
Even to that point that he's got the big old sort of paper style banner behind him in the bright red and yellow.
Yep.
With this really kind of, graphic style wolf head.
Yes. Look, everything about it screams old school to me. Yeah. I'm just trying to go back. Was there an actual photo put in of the White Dwarf one?
No. He did do one later, though, where, because he originally took the photo on the white background, he did one where it was kind of the blue to white fade.
Mm-hmm.
He just, like, photoshopped in the other background, and it looks peak. It might be in one of the other channels, but yeah, it's that proper blue faded background straight out of White Dwarf, and it looks like it's straight out of White Dwarf.
Yeah. And he's highlighted all of the little, the pipes going back to the helmet and
literally all of it. There was a surprising amount of detail in these. Like, for their age, the staff had all the little runes in it. Even to the fact that most people neglect the fact he's got like a little skull cap underneath his helmet, and he's even picked that out separately. Each of the individual runes on his little shin guards, whatever the hell is greaves or things that they call them.
Mhm.
Like they're all they're lined, they're highlighted. There's at least a couple of, shades on every single one of those. This is peak nostalgia done well. The yellow through to orange is that
Mhm.
real traditional. Again, he's brought my childhood to me.
So what this one does for me is it reminds me of those times when you only had like
Mm-hmm.
6 or a dozen paints to use,
Mm-hmm.
and you just had to make do with what they
And
were.
and that's what it was. And it was the only thing, and this is absolutely nothing to do with the paint scheme, but if you zoom right in, he's got his like belt and stuff, and he's got a little bag, and he's got his little wolf pelt thing on in between his legs, and
Mhm.
something's hanging from the wolf pelt thing, and I don't know what it is.
It's a wolf scrotum,
It's absolutely a scrotum of some description. And
especially painted the way it is.
it's even in this kind of pinky orangey color, and I can only see this guy with a little wolf scrote dangling from his belt. It's the best thing in the world.
I'm
And
sure that's not what it's supposed to be,
I
but
cannot
it
stop
is what it
staring.
is.
I almost want to go back and find the original model just to find out what it's supposed to be.
Find an old white dwarf.
I
image.
really hope that they slipped in a wolf scrote in the old, and we never knew.
Yes, because we wouldn't have picked up at that.
No.
I do like the base as well. The base with its just simple green and brown rim. You know, if you really wanted to, green rim, all tied it back.
I hear you.
Mhm.
However, given he's not a complete heathen, I I would suggest that the brown rim is a very classic G-dub thing, sort of more modern thing. As soon as they stopped painting the whole thing green, that's kind of the next step that they went to. It was the
Yeah,
brown with the green top, and so it
green
just
to
feels
brown to
like,
black.
yeah, they're slowly, they won't go back now. I also think he's 3D printed the banner pole. I'm just
Yeah, I'm not too sure how he's done the banner.
sneaky, and
I
I like it.
assume, yeah, that's got to be a print for the
Yeah.
actual banner itself.
Well, I was actually sneaky look at that at the moment. It almost looks like it's see-through. I can't work out whether he's done something onto plastic because I don't know.
No.
It's too sharp to be paper. It
Mhm.
looks like the old paper banner, but I just don't know what he's done it on or how he's managed to print
Maybe
onto.
it's, yeah, paper on paper. Because it looks down the bottom like that little yellow. There's a little line of yellow at the bottom. I don't know.
I don't know,
Either way,
but it's
whatever way
cool.
he's done it, it looks awesome.
Yeah, I kind of want to steal his secrets.
Yeah. No, it looks incredible.
Glorious.
Next up,
Who we got?
we have Glenn with his painted Abaddon.
Yes. And what I really enjoy is Abaddon was one of the very first models that Horse painted that he was really like trying to push himself to paint and like, do a really good job like forever ago as a kid, and the original metal one. And so this is a real sort of throwback to that was kind of the first time I painted something I was really proud of.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the new version.
Yes.
And it's the updated model.
It is the updated model, which is, a much more dynamic model.
Fuck, it's a good model.
One. It's a really nice model. I mean, Abaddon is old.
He is really old.
He's technically about 10,000 years old, depending on give or take a couple of thousand years, depending on how much time he's been in a war. I'm guessing that ties it in.
Yeah.
Because Glenn hasn't actually left
Told
any
us?
comments, so
No. But absolutely. Abaddon is old.
he is
Check.
old.
And as I said, then you throw the throwback to the old model I painted. Here's a new version of the old model. It's, yeah, I
I'm
dig
glad
it.
you know that.
Yeah.
I do like the colour scheme that he's gone with too. So
Yes.
lots of purples and blues going into, with like cream,
Mm-hmm.
edges, which is really nice. I do like how the claws look.
They are, yeah, it's this super fun. And I really enjoy the fact that, and I know for a fact when he was painting it, he was getting shitty because he couldn't like blend things like they weren't quite blending the way that he wanted to and stuff like this. But I love this finish. I love this kind of concept of you can see some brush strokes and you can kind of see where the paint overlaps and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it gives this really kind of intentional oil painting kind of vibe to it that I enjoy, where people don't feel the need to hide where the brush went.
Yep.
Um,
I do like it. Like it stands out.
mhm.
It stands out from the base as well. So
Yeah.
the base has got lots of sort of, old grass and a couple of
Yeah.
green plants, and he's standing on a green space marine.
Mhm.
So the purples and blues really sort of stand out from that in
Yeah.
contrast to it.
And then that purpley blue on the claws is the kind of
Mm.
brightest, most saturated color there. So that really jumps out. The gold trim on the armor, of which there is so much gold trim on
Mhm.
that armor. Um,
He's a big model.
yes. Yeah, everything got bigger. I want to see him next to the original one now.
Yes.
Uh,
And I do like that that's carried on into the sword as well.
yes. And then, yeah, exactly that same deal of kind of the blue through the pinky purples into that kind of yellowy, almost creamy highlight. Like it's very clever use of color. And again, things like using the purples to shade the reds. So it doesn't go like it's not quite black. It's just
Mhm.
more interesting than black. And again, the blues through it, the purple through the gold, all of that just adds this world of visual interest I really enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, really, I do love the pattern.
Mm.
The more I read and the more I, delve into that history, the more I like the character as a whole.
The more I look at this model, the more I want one. It's problematic.
Oh, there's a new edition coming out.
Yeah, no, we don't need that. Um,
All right. Moving on. Our last finished entry is from Alice. And Alice has done Spike from Buffy, who is also very old, being a vampire.
that's how it works, right?
Mm-hmm. What is not old is the amount of time that she took to paint this model.
My God, that was like, hey, this is nearly done. And she's like, oh shit, here's a pledge here, it's done. I'm like,
Less than 2 hours
that was
from
wild.
pledge to finished product. I mean,
Legit speed paint.
yeah, there is a lot of black because, he's a vampire and he's wearing black and all the rest of it. But there is a distinct difference between the pants and the
Shirt
coat.
and then the jacket.
Mhm.
And then, she's
The
caught
belt.
the inside of the little vesty thing or whatever he's wearing underneath in between his t-shirt and his jacket. She's caught
Mhm.
the belt. She's caught all the detail in the belt buckle. She's caught all the studs on the jacket. And then you go from this, there's a lot of black, but a really nice job of catching the difference in texture. Like the
Yep.
jeans are more sort of textured and rough and worn than the other stuff,
Yes.
which I dig. And then to go hard into this kind of pale skin, the white hair, even the difference between the hair and the skin, it's subtle, but it's just right.
Mhm. So I think from memory, Spike's sort of, bleached
Yeah.
blonde hair, isn't he?
Yeah.
And yeah, like there is a difference between the skin and the hair, but the skin is almost highlighted up to the hair color.
Mm-hmm.
And she's caught both of the fangs in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
2
Yeah,
hours.
okay. And, same deal as before, the eyes on this thing where they're black lined, there's a white, there is a pupil, all of that on what looks to be a pretty teeny tiny model with some pretty heavy brows.
Yeah, I don't think he's a big model either. I don't think this is, your 28
Yeah.
mil. I don't know where this model's from, but I don't think it's that big.
No.
It looks like almost like a board game model. I do like the base.
She's broken style there, which I really like, because everything is pretty realistic as far as the model is concerned, and then she's got this kind of like comic booky, really kind of illustrated look on the stone on the base. He's almost stepping off or onto the page. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, just incredible work, and expect nothing less from Alice, but for 2 hours, that's ridiculous. Ah, dear. And that's all of our finished entries.
There were some unfinished, which is, it is the way that things happen.
Yes.
Life and everything gets in the way sometimes, which is fine.
Yeah, look, we might do another paint event shortly. So, maybe jump onto that one if you can get around to finishing something for this one.
Find a way to justify your something old entry as the next theme. Get real creative.
Yes. All right. Now, we kind of have to give a winner, don't we?
We do kind of. Well, when you say winner, what's the criteria?
There is no criteria. It's old. That was the criteria.
Which one warms the cockles of our hearts the most is really the...
Well, I think I speak for everyone here and in the Discord when I say that the winner absolutely should be the vampire chick with the blood dripping from the chalice.
Yeah, unfortunately, due to technicalities beyond our control, that was disqualified.
Oh, yeah, that's mine. I don't know. Let's give it to Eric then.
No, so firstly, yes, hard agree. Secondly, it was the thing that literally brought 1998 back.
Yes. You look at it and you think of those old White Dwarfs straight away because the color scheme matches. Everything about it just screams old school GW before they got halfway decent at sculpting and painting.
And look, as much as it is a very literal interpretation of the theme, there were no wildly amusing interpretations of the theme that made me giggle ridiculously. So I feel like we need to go with literal. And it is just, as I said, I owned this model. I remember trying to paint the little runes in his staff and swearing at them back then.
Think what you would do now with the multitude of expletives that you've picked up along the years.
I've learned so much. Not painting, but swearing. No, I've got that.
You've got that down pat.
Yeah, there is absolutely this whole... What I really enjoy about all of these is how much I get excited about painting and different models and just doing different stuff just by going through everyone else's entries and going, oh, that's cool. Oh, I want one of those. Oh, maybe I could try that. It's very... I enjoy this.
So you'll be getting a Wolf Priest and an Abaddon
and look,
maybe not a Radagast.
No, but maybe some old school Necromunda. They're fun. Yeah, we'll see.
Too good. All right, that's another one done and dusted. Is it time?
It is time.
This or that? Hit me.
Well, I mean, we've just talked about painting something old for the last however long, and there is, again, a divide in this community that I think we can finally put an end to. And we touched upon it briefly. Should bases be Goblin Green or literally anything else?
There's obviously only one answer,
Correct.
and that is Goblin Green.
And this is why we can't have nice things.
If you're going for that old school look, there is nothing like Goblin Green.
It absolutely catches. And, even with a bloody, sunburst yellow highlight on the sand above it, like, I get it. To that point, there is actually, I think it's closed now, but there's an Olden Demon painting competition.
Okay.
It's an online hosted one where the models need to be models from before a certain date.
Mm-hmm.
And there's multiple categories. They have like an open dioramery type category. You can basically do what you want. But the traditional and the first one were model, Goblin Green base, requirement of entry.
Mm-hmm.
And there is some ridiculously well painted stuff with heinous Goblin Green bases. Just
what is the equivalent of Goblin Green? It's like Moot Green or something now, I think.
Yeah, one. I don't know. And frustratingly, it feels like every modern paint range has actually been forced to come out with a Goblin Green equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
because it's so classic and the right answer.
Just, I can even wear the Goblin Green yellow highlighted tops. Just paint the rim a different color and we can be friends.
Oh dear. Oh dear. We'll put it to the Discord as usual. And
they will disappoint us. I mean,
well, as usual. But also, if you want to have a look at these models that we've chatted about, if you haven't seen them, jump in the Discord.
they're all there.
They're all there.
In a channel with all the comments deleted between them.
It's the perfect thing. Oh dear. Yes, there is a link to Discord in the show notes, or you can anywhere you look at Thoughtless Casual Gaming. There's got to be a link somewhere.
Yeah,
you should jump in, and when you jump in, read the rules, tick your interests, and then you'll get access to the rest of the chats.
And when you can't work that out, we are here to help.
Yes. Dear. All right, what's on? Couple of things. Blood Bowl season is wrapping up.
So close.
So close to the end, which means we are also so close to the next one.
It's like perpetual. It's universal. It is the comforting thing that you always know is there.
Mm-hmm. I have already set it up in Tour Play. I will post a link in the Discord once this, maybe once finals are set.
Yeah, let's get this one done.
Yeah, we'll have a bit of time between finals and starts. I'll probably start sometime maybe late July, depending on how many rounds we want to go. We'll look at that. But yeah, jump in the Discord, and if you want a game before then, by all means, hit somebody up because
we can make that happen.
Games happening.
Want to try a new team? Want to try a new game? We can talk.
Yeah. Speaking of trying new games, Trench Crusade. There is stuff happening in the Discord for that as well.
That is absolutely a thing that's kicking off. And there is a bit of a sign-up form for a campaign that's starting soon, very much with the idea that we'll do some learn to play games. We'll try and find some people that know how to play and pair them up with some people that don't know how to play, and
That's
then
me.
help everybody through list
I'm the
building.
one that doesn't know.
I mean, most people are the ones that don't know. We'll muddle through. It'll be fine. But the idea here is it's for a chance for everyone to try the game out and learn to play and stuff, and just, give it a crack, see what the campaign does. It gives you a chance to build up a bit of a warband force over the course of that. So again, There'll be links everywhere. I'll throw a link in the show notes to that as well. But if that is a game that you're keen on, jump in the Discord, ask some people. That is happening.
Absolutely. On that note, I've got nothing else.
Nah, I'm done.
Cool. Thank you for listening. Give us a follow. Facebook, Spotify, Podbean, all your usual things. Jump in the Discord. As always, thank you very much to our Patreons for all the support that they give us. Thank you, as always, to our Thoughtless patrons, Ant, Cody, Gertzy, and Jared. You guys rock.
Wild.
Yeah.
People are just wild.
Till next time. Laters.
Catcha.
Determined to forge a different road, undaunted for it's been foretold. The sirens are roaring, your ears are soaring, and never falling, and they will not be dissuaded by you. They journey and they travel on, they pilgrimage they reach, but was born on hearing ears, for they have naught to teach. They carry on undaunted.